Hi, Andy Lewis. Thanks for joining and talking to us about your experiences with seniors chess.
Okay, Natasha.
Yeah.
So I'd like to start by going through a bit of a game I played recently. I actually presented this game, or rather this snippet from the game, to a group of largely non-chess players recently. And
Oh,
what I
wow.
was trying to do in showing this part of the game is one of the key quintessential skills of a chess player. So let's look at the game. Okay, and we are going to start on the 27th move. We are in Dresden. I am playing Bernd Nuebauer, and we have, after some extremely interesting moves, reached the following position. Okay, so this is the position that we're going to start the game from. But before we actually talk the game through, I actually want to show you this position here, which happened 4 moves later. Now, when most chess players see this position, they come to the conclusion fairly quickly that, notwithstanding White's material advantage, White is in a whole load of trouble here. So I don't know, Natasha, if you've got any immediate reflections on this position.
Well, I have to say your queen's right in there in the thick of things. Your rook's on an open line. Your knight, well, it depends if it's your move or not, right? Because your knight is a bit under attack. But basically, it looks like the white king's in quite some trouble because black's major pieces are right nearby.
Okay, yeah, so the only real thing that White has got going for him in this position is a slight material advantage, piece up for 2 pawns. But you mentioned, Natasha, a couple of very, very key features. So one is centralization. So look at the black queen, centralized on d3, white queen on g2, bit off to the sideline. Look at the rook on e8. It controls extremely powerful file. Rook on g1, not going quite so much. And thirdly, the fact that the white king is way out exposed. Black king is very, very snug on g8. So let's just look at what might go wrong immediately if White makes a misstep. So White might make the move, bishop b2. Okay, and that would be a horrible move because of queen e3, which is actually checkmate.
Ooh.
Going back here.
So that knight is useful there on h2.
Yes, indeed, the knight is playing a part. So the obvious thing which White might do is to play the move queen takes h2. So now White is in fact 2 pieces up. So Black has got 2 real strong moves here. I probably would have played queen takes d4 check, but which is a great move. But the simplest move is actually to make the move c5 takes d4, which has got all sorts of problems. So the big one, let's see if I can do this. So the big one is there's this enormous threat of rook e2 check, which would not only win the queen, but would deliver checkmate in very short order. So in this position, I don't think it takes too much analysis or effort to convince oneself that Black has got a great position here. Okay, however, that's the easy bit. Okay, because I don't just have to assess this position right here. I've got to look at this position and try and hold it in your mind if you can, back in this position here. So White has just played the move queen d2. He's trying to use the queen for lateral defense, maybe going to f2 or g2 to force the exchange of the black queen. In this sort of position, what the defender really wants to do is to exchange queens. So now I've got a challenge, and I've got to find a great sequence of moves here. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my attacking advantage. So I had 10 minutes left on my clock. I spent 8 of them analyzing and checking my calculations. So I came up with a very, very precise sequence of moves. Let's go through them. The first move is knight g4, okay, with lots of ideas. So knight h2 check is one of them, bishop d4 is another. So if it were black's move here, there's all sorts of things he could play, but I'd very much like to play this move here, bishop to d4, just bringing the third piece.
The knight can come in as well, can't it?
Indeed, the knight can come to e3 with check. Yeah, go to h2. It's all happening. But white is a very, very strong player, and he had surely seen the move knight g4. He's got a very, very strong reply, so he thinks. He plays the knight back to f3.
Okay, attacking the queen.
If my queen goes backwards, well, you know, it's going to be a piece up. It's not over, but he thinks he's got after queen h3 check, he thinks he's got a very, very strong move here, which is queen g2.
And so the point of that is it stops the check, but also is trying to exchange queens and also attacking the knight.
Exactly. So he was probably reckoning on this move just completely solving his problems. Nonetheless, white has a very, very strong sequence of moves here. So
knowing the final position, I can guess it's knight h2. Oh, it's very nice, isn't it? Because then
knight h3 check. So obviously the queen's pinned, can't move. If he plays knight takes h2, then queen d3 check.
Yeah.
f2, and I think rook e2 is probably not the strongest move actually, but you can see it wins the queen, and you know, not worth talking about. So after knight f2, knight h2 check, the king's got to come forwards. Okay, and again, you know, what's going to happen here is black going to exchange pieces and leading to a maybe favorable ending for white. No, black's got this deflection move, bishop d4 check, and he's got no choice whatsoever but to play the move knight takes d4.
It's the only legal
and
move.
After queen d3, we've got the position that
we recognize this position now.
So one of the quintessential skills of the chess player is visualization. So basically, you can say it is from this position to see this position.
So had you seen that all in advance, Andy?
What I can say for certain is that in this position here, after queen d2, I saw that knight g4 would lead by force to this position, and that my judgment was this position was highly favorable to black. So chess isn't just about cognitive abilities. So if you could see this position from the position 4 moves earlier, you'd be a pretty strong chess player. Okay, but if you can find such a sequence of moves, check it accurately with not too much time on the clock, then you've got the possibility of being a great chess player. I actually showed this continuation to John Ems. He very generously agreed to go through this game with me, and frankly, although he's running cold, I'm sure he would have seen this in an actual game. He couldn't actually quite see the continuation of the game from this position onwards.
Mm.
The game is not over. Okay, so White actually came up with a move which I hadn't seen. Okay, and this is something that happens as well. Something you've got to be prepared for in chess. That you can do a lot of calculation, but nonetheless, there's a move your opponent has which you don't see. So he played the move knight e6, which basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to sell the life of his knight to close down the e-file temporarily.
So he wants to block this rook right out of the game.
He does, yeah. So obviously it's a free knight, so I better take that. Okay, and one thing he might think about doing here is playing the move queen takes h2. What happens then is lots of things can happen. Probably the simplest move is e6 takes d5. Now, rook e2 check is once again a threat. So I'm not even sure how we even defend against this. But you can just see that in the best case scenario, White is going to go into an endgame in which he's going to be many pawns down. So he'd like to play, well, he can think about playing queen takes h2, but he plays a stronger move here. He plays the move rook e1. So what he's saying here basically is that the knight on h2 is trapped, and he wants to use the pin on the e-file to regain an important pawn on e6. Okay, but I have a very strong move here, which is queen c2 check. And what happened here is, as so often happens, let's just refocus on the position. What so happens is that when players are short of time and they've got a completely lost position, they just let their flag fall.
Oh, and this is what he did. Okay.
So if he meets the threat with rook e2, then
you can at least take the bishop.
Can at least take the bishop. Yeah, should be good enough. King takes h2, and well, as you can see, I'm not even material down. So a move like rook f8 followed by rook takes f4 check looks fairly decisive. Yeah, there's just so many ways to play the position now. So one thing he might think about doing here is to just retreat the king. So he could play the move maybe king g3 or king g1. Not sure which of these is best, but let's look at king g3. So what it's going to do then was simply take here. He takes back. The knight goes here. He should really try and keep the rooks on in this position and play pawn takes pawn. So try to make something of this passed pawn on e6. But there's a very simple continuation of moves here, which is I'm going to play the move. Knight h3, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to play knight here, followed by knight here. That's going to move the pawn to e7. I'm going to move the knight back to f5 again, and then just take on e7. So that was a game. Let's just leave the final position on the board. That was a game that was very nice finish, I thought, by me. Okay, so let's go back to the video chat again. Maybe you could take away the board.
Board's gone now. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks so much for showing the game, Andy.
That was a big gain for me for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
So one thing about the Dresden tournament, it was the first tournament of its kind, which I played in for 3 years. So when I retired from my work career in 2014, I actually spent quite a lot of time playing chess and studying chess. And this led to me, after about 3 to 4 years, achieving my highest ELO rating, which I got to, I think, in January, February 2019. What
Congratulations.
happened then?
But how old were you, Andy, when you got your highest FIDE rating so far?
Highest FIDE rating so far. So I would have been just over 58. It's quite a rare.
That's a good age to take your highest FIDE rating.
Quite rare. But
yeah.
What happened then? So I played in a double tournament in Rhodes in, I think it was April 2018. I lost ELO points. I decided that in order to make further improvements, I needed to really change my repertoire, change my approach to chess. And I had started doing that when what happened? We had COVID, we had the lockdown.
Yes.
So no more chess as we know it for nearly 3 years.
Yeah.
So very pleased to play at Dresden. My score wasn't bad. I still lost ELO points, but I had three nice wins, including the one that you can see. Another thing I think as well, which you probably touched on in your book, Natasha, Chess for Life, I believe is the title of it. So what sort of skills do chess players need to try and retain in order to be successful in chess and late at life? So I think visualization is a key one. So I think to myself, well, I could solve that problem during the board, and I'd say I probably did that about as well as I did when I was 25. I wouldn't say better, but I think I did it pretty well. So post-COVID, starting to play international chess again. Looking forward to the next seniors event, hopefully in.
Just on your visualization, then, do you particularly practice it, or how do you keep that skill?
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. So there's a podcast by another English senior, Terry Chapman. He talks about his approach to preparing for international events, and he says no matter what he does, is he practices puzzle solving every day. There's lots of great tools out there for that, including one on Lichess. You can't really go wrong. There's so many good ones. The important thing basically is to walk the talk. You got to do it basically. And Terry says he spends minimum of half an hour to an hour doing this every day before a tournament, and he says that no matter what else he does,
definitely the tournaments I've played, I felt like I've played well at. My build-up has been doing sort of quite a lot of tactics, or definitely tactics in the run-up to the tournament. I definitely think I agree that helps.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, there's a saying that chess is 90% tactics, and I don't know whether we talk about shogi on this, but
we should talk about shogi. Yes, of course, Andy. Yes. So so Andy and I both play shogi, but I didn't realize that Andy played shogi until Dresden. But in fact, immediately after this recording, we're going to be playing a shogi arena. But shogi's lovely for chess players who don't know shogi. It's kind of a lovely game for tactics, because each game is the basic a mating attack, as opposed to queening a pawn and mopping up people's pieces.
Absolutely. So think of, I don't know, the Sicilian dragon, okay, and imagine that every single game of chess ends like a Sicilian dragon, in which one side is defending, one side is attacking. Players are prepared to sacrifice absolutely everything in order to gain mate. So think of a chess game that always ends like that. Well, that's shogi basically.
But you don't even need to know all the opening theory, because that's the problem with the Sicilian dragon, that you have to learn so much stuff. But shogi, so we should say that's Japanese chess. So it's like a chess variant that's very popular in Japan. Less popular in the West, but it should be because it's such a nice game.
It's a great game, and one of the reasons why I've made an enthusiastic return to shogi is that if chess is 90% tactics, shogi is 99% tactics, basically. So if you want to sharpen up your tactical skills, well, obviously the tactics are not the same, not to be confused with each other, but it's a great form of tactical training. So stuff like looking at the possibilities, looking at what your opponent might do, looking at things like flight squares around the king. So shogi, I think, is close enough to chess to be a kind of realistic form of chess tactical training.
Yeah, cool. Brilliant. Okay, thanks very much, Andy. Thanks for showing the game. Really nice game there. That's it's always nice, isn't it, a tournament where you've got some games that you really like to be able to play through again afterwards. So congratulations on that. And I don't think we've even mentioned yet you're part of the England 2 team, and so yeah, so we were we did pretty well, didn't we, England 2? In Dresden, we were up on top board at the end, and had lots of good results. So it was lots of fun to be part of that team. And do you have any plans to play any seniors next year, Andy?
I have plans, or rather hopes. So of course we don't know yet what the international seniors calendar would look like.
Yes.
I actually managed to play in 4 of these events in 2019. I don't know I managed so many this year. Time's a bit harder, but I certainly like to try and play a couple or at least one of them.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's hope you get the chance. And thanks very much for showing your game.
Thank you.